Broken-hearted Minnesota team, an elated Wisconsin team. The Badgers will play for another national championship.
Right now, coming down to one final shot in overtime, we have team coverage as the Badgers move on to the finals. Plus, the UW system details its proposed tuition increase for the next school year. And later, a war crimes warrant is issued for Russian President Vladimir Putin. The latest on this developing story straight ahead. This is News 3 Now.
Now Harvey again with some room. She scores! Harvey sends Wisconsin to the national title game.
A thrilling finish at the AMS Oil Arena in Duluth tonight. The final border battle of the season between Wisconsin and Minnesota. Thanks for staying up late with us. The Badgers women's hockey team, one of only two to remain this season. In an exciting game tonight, Wisconsin and Minnesota took it into overtime in what was the final border battle of the year. Armand Rahman and Zach Hanley are in Duluth.
We talked about Wisconsin's resiliency this season, and in their biggest game to date against their bitter rival, it was on display again in a do-or-die game. Round 6 between the Badgers and the Gophers. Winner heads to the national championship. Bucky trailed 1-0 in the third and then caught fire. Layla Edwards slides one past the tender to tie things up at 1. Then minutes later, it's a 2-on-1 for Wisconsin, and Sophie Shirley makes it a 2-1 Badger lead. Now the Gophers would tie this one up late in the third and send it to overtime, but in OT, KK Harvey sends Minnesota packing. The freshman All-American goes top shelf, and the Badgers move on with a 3-2 win.
Honestly, I blacked out, but it was pretty crazy. I think Britta or Jessie threw the puck across the slot. Layla told me she was actually about to catch it, and she felt me there. She let it go, and then I was able to shoot that puck and try to pick that corner, so it's lucky enough to go in. So
it's on to Ohio State for Wisconsin in the national championship game. And Armand, you met a group of Badgers who live for this.
Yeah, I know you could call them super fans who couldn't be happier to see the Badgers advance to the finals of the Frozen Four.
The atmosphere, and loved that everyone was just really enjoying the game no matter who was playing.
Drew, Tony, Andy, and Kevin might as well be called the Frozen Four because they've made it a point to go every year.
This will be our 4th Women's Frozen Four, and we've been to 5 Men's Frozen Fours. Badgers got a goal within the last 16 seconds of the game to win against Boston College in 2017, and I think at that moment we were like, we're coming to this tournament every year.
But since then, the 4 Scotties haven't been there to experience the Badgers take it all, so they're hoping to relive that glory in Duluth.
We've missed 2 Women's Frozen Fours in the past 6 years, and they were both the ones that the Badgers won because we couldn't make it out to Connecticut in 2019, and then fans were not allowed in 2021. So hopefully we can break that streak here this weekend.
But when it comes down to it each year, it doesn't matter who's on the ice. They were on their feet during the Ohio State Duluth finals last year.
I had to take a step back and be like, I went to Boston U and I live in Madison, Wisconsin, and I am yelling my head off for the Ohio State Buckeyes. It was a little weird, but I had a good time.
We've got some friends from Duluth, and they sent us some Duluth jerseys that we wore out in State College, so we were there rooting for a team even though the Badgers weren't there.
Because what these Frozen Four are super fans of is the game of hockey.
The intensity is there, the passion is there, and I think it's just you feel that and you get really good hockey games.
So obviously they'll be here Sunday hoping for the Badgers to take it all.
And we'll be here too at AMS Oil Arena. For Armand Rahman, I'm Zach Hanley, News 3 Now.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let's get a look at our first warn forecast now. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canaldi.
Well, it is blustery and cold out here. The winds have been howling and temperatures have been dropping. Let's start out by taking a look at the time lapse from the WISC-TV Skycam. You can see clouds this morning gave way to some sunshine this afternoon, but it really didn't help temperatures very much. It was a chilly day today across southern Wisconsin. Doppler track shows some snow flurries up near Lake Superior. Those will drop southward and could affect parts of southern Wisconsin late tonight into early tomorrow morning. You can see this on 6-hour future track radar. Those flurries kind of coming in from the northwest. Not very impressive, but they'll be down to around the Dells by about 4 or 5 a.m. and probably into Madison about 6. 24-hour temperature change, it's not your imagination. It's a lot colder at this time tonight than it was at this time last night. Right now, current temperature 15 in Madison, 19 in Janesville, already in the single digits out toward La Crosse. Across Dane County, temperatures are in the mid-teens, 16 right now in McFarland, 16 in Waunakee, but these winds are still pretty strong. Wind chills right now are generally in the single digits above and below zero, and will stay that way overnight. Look for temperatures to drop to around 13 degrees here in Madison. Could be a couple of flurries late tonight. We'll see another cold day tomorrow, but we'll turn the corner temperature-wise by Sunday. I'll take a look at where our temperatures will go for the upcoming week in just a few minutes.
A surprise at the state capitol today. Doug LaFollette, the Secretary of State, announced his retirement effective immediately. He was first elected to that post in 1974 and just 3 months ago was reelected for his 10th consecutive term in office. Today, Governor Evers also announced Sarah Godlewski will be his replacement. Her appointment will be effective starting tomorrow. The UW system today releasing more details on its proposal to increase tuition and fees for the upcoming academic year. The announcement was made earlier this month. Under this proposal, the average cost of attendance would increase 4.2% when factoring in room and board, but increases would vary by school. The Board of Regents is set to consider the proposal during its meeting later this month. And we have a breakdown by university on channel3000.com. UW System President Jay Rothman also announcing today the 3 finalists to become UW Whitewater's next chancellor. Tammy Ivetovich has served as interim chancellor since last June. Artanya Wesley of Whitewater's vice chancellor for student affairs. And Philip Cavalier is currently the interim chancellor at the University of Tennessee Martin. A UW Platteville educator has returned from a visit to Turkey where she joined a team of people assessing the damage from the massive earthquakes there last month. Dr. Azkula has a PhD in structural engineering. She says the type of work she participated in can help prevent future earthquakes from having as big of an effect. Her work is not only helping those in Turkey, but it is also helping students at UW Platteville.
In the class, like we see the theory. And theory is just like by book, right? And what is more interesting for students, for anyone, when they realize that the importance of civil engineers, then they start to think that, okay, like the time that we are spending in here is too much valuable.
In a statement, UW Platteville's chancellor said, quote, not only is she making a positive impact in that region, but by sharing her experience and research with UW Platteville students, she's helping to better prepare the next generation of engineers to do the same. We're getting an update on last month's toxic chemical train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. An EPA administrator says the cleanup will take at least another 3 months, and that's barring bad weather or any changes to the site condition. Nearly 7 million gallons of liquid and more than 5,400 tons of solid waste were taken from the site for disposal so far. New tonight, former President Donald Trump has posted on Facebook for the first time since January 6th, the day that rioters attacked the U.S. Capitol. The message was short, saying, quote, I'm back. Trump's return to Facebook restores his access to a critical fundraising tool at the outset of the 2024 presidential race. The International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for Russian President Vladimir Putin for war crimes. The court accuses Putin of abducting and deporting Ukrainian children to Russia. Astrid Martinez reports.
Russia has not tried to hide its efforts to bring Ukrainian children to Russia. In this propaganda video, Russia claims to be rescuing them. But Friday, the International Criminal Court called it kidnapping and re-education. It issued war crime arrest warrants for Russian President Vladimir Putin and Maria Lvova-Belova, the director of the alleged abductions.
There are credible allegations against these persons for the alleged crimes. історичне рішення, з якого почнеться.
Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky called the warrants historic and says the deportations would not have been possible without Putin's involvement. Ukraine claims 16,000 children were forcibly deported and only 300 have been returned. 6 of the returned belong to Olga Lopatkina. Her children were at a vacation retreat in eastern Ukraine when the war broke out, and Russian authorities picked them up. She says the Russians told her children, your parents abandoned you, and we can give you a better life. After months of negotiations between Ukraine and Russia, the family reunited in October. Moscow has denied the accusations of child abduction and does not recognize the court's authority. Putin will not be arrested if he stays in Russia, but if he travels to any of the 123 countries that are members of the International Criminal Court, international law dictates the country must arrest him. Astrid Martinez, CBS News, New York.
A U.S.-backed report published last month found evidence Russia permanently relocated at least 6,000 children via dozens of camps. Protesters again facing off against riot police tonight in France. This says the government's plans to raise the French state pension age by 2 years. A large cutout figure of French President Emmanuel Macron was thrown onto a fire by one protester. And tonight, trouble followed similar disorder yesterday after Macron decided to push through the contested pension overhaul without a parliamentary vote. Still ahead, Gary has his updated weekend forecast. Plus, we're approaching the 20-year anniversary since the start of the Iraq War. Next, we will hear from some of the reporters covering the conflict.
It's a brand new day.
Don't let junk get in the way. All you have to do is point.
And you'll be back to your old self again.
Yeah!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Oh, the weather. What's the chance of rain tomorrow?
Ooh, 80%. I make it rain. I make it rain.
Speaking of making it rain, at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, we have an average 95% payout, which leads you to more chances of playing longer and more chances to win big. Play longer, win more, chances are you're gonna like it.
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
Habitat Restore is full of great finds at great prices for a great cause. With a unique inventory of high-quality, low-cost goods, you can save money and feel good about your purchase. Shop Restore Dane County today.
Need life insurance? SelectQuote found Jacob, 40, a $500,000 policy for only $19 a month. And SelectQuote found his wife, Wendy, a $500,000 policy for only $17 a month.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
There are so many things we take for granted, and along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for granted too. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living, and through no fault of their own, they're being left behind? If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy and water providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
Shopping for insurance? Forget about saving 15%. Switch to a West Bend policy, and we're offering a chance to save everything. Every memory, every detail. No matter if it's fire, theft, or weather. We promise to help you get everything back to how it was before. Just think of what you can save. West Bend. The worst brings out our best.
It's a brand new day.
Don't let junk get in the way. All you have to do is point.
And you'll be back to your old self again.
Yeah!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
The candidates for Madison mayor face off. News 3 Now, channel3000.com, and the Cap Times present a debate between Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway and challenger Gloria Reyes.
Watch live streaming March 27th and replayed March 28th on News 3 Now.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Monday marks 20 years since the start of the U.S.-led war in Iraq. As the invasion unfolded, correspondent Charlie D'Agata was in Jordan and producer Tina Kraus was with CBS News team in Kuwait. The two eventually made it into Baghdad to cover a conflict that would stretch out for 9 years. Tonight, they reflect on the early days of their war assignment.
It's surreal being back. The street lights are on. All the shops are open. I've never known Iraq, or at least this part of Baghdad, to feel this normal. 20 years ago, when the invasion began, that skyline behind me was lit up. In fact, most of this area was lit up with explosions, airstrikes.
I think all of us were on edge. We slept with our gas masks on our pillows for weeks, and now the moment was here. The air raid sirens were blaring across Kuwait as Iraq fired missiles our way.
It was a huge story. It was also my first real war. It was the first time I had witnessed such incredible violence, such incredible firepower, the suffering, the suicide car bombings.
I remember driving into Baghdad, and I was shooting some video on my old handy cam at the time, seeing a lot of bombed out buildings, seeing, of course, a lot of American tanks. It was a U.S.-occupied city. I remember there was a statue, the famous one of Saddam Hussein. Someone had written in graffiti, "All done, go home."
There were two hotels, a Sheraton in Palestine, and we parked there for the next few weeks. Of course, there's no electricity, there's no running water.
The humming of generators on the roof just to keep us on television.
We were supposed to be up at the top of the hour.
When you're in a war zone, your colleagues become like family. You work so closely together, but we also found that with the Iraqis. I remember one man and his smile. On the rooftop of our hotel in Baghdad, he had built our wooden shack.
CBS News Bar, Baghdad.
This is the compassionate face of the U.S. military machine. Constantly had to be on your guard. It was a very dangerous place to operate in. I remember very graphically the terrorist attack on the UN building here in Baghdad. That was as close as I've been and as immediate as I've been to a building that has been hit and seeing the suffering and the death and destruction of the people. And that left a mark on me.
It is the humanity of this war that I can't forget. It's so many children on the streets. It's a little boy in particular named Mohammed who outside our hotel every morning would give me a big smile. He had no one around taking care of him, but he came back every day.
They're expecting a high voter turnout. I remember the first election day very well. It was a real act of courage to see the men and women of Iraq take part in these elections and risking their lives to do so. The bomb that killed Paul Douglas and James Brolin in 2006 was something that impacted everybody at CBS News. We never come back to Iraq without remembering Paul and James and the sacrifice that they made.
If there's a lesson to be learned from this war for me, it's how fragile life can be. The deaths of our colleagues, the deaths of all the U.S. troops, the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Iraqis, many who are still so scarred deeply by this conflict.
If today is anything to judge by, with the traffic and the shops open, and checkpoints down, and the glass walls down, and the razor wire down, maybe there's reason to be hopeful.
More than 4,500 U.S. troops were killed as a result of the war in Iraq. Researchers estimate more than 400,000 Iraqis lost their lives during the conflict. And here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with a look at our first warn forecast.
It was a blustery and cold St. Patrick's Day across southern Wisconsin.
It is really chilly out there.
Tomorrow will be even colder.
Oh, great.
But then we turn the corner. Can't keep getting colder every single day. But Doppler track shows some lake effect snows on the other side of Lake Michigan, also downwind from Lake Superior. Those are starting to kick in. But it's this area of flurries that we're watching that's dropping southward. It's really not very impressive. 6-hour future track radar shows those flurries getting to around the Dells by about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and eventually through the Madison area. So late tonight, early tomorrow morning, might see a few flurries. Otherwise, that just helps to reinforce the cold air. And like I say, tomorrow will be a little colder than today. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Look for another windy day tomorrow as well. High temperatures only in the middle 20s. But Sunday will be sunny and milder with high temperatures back close to 40 and then mild conditions with highs in the 50s for a couple of days for next week. In fact, the high temperature trend shows that we'll go from well below normal. The average high temperature 45, so 20 degrees or more more below normal for tomorrow, but by the time we get to the middle of the week, temperatures will actually be above normal and then be near normal at least through the end of the week, but there'll also be some rain chances. Weather track tonight, upper level winds coming right out of Canada and blowing cold air right down into the Midwest. This won't last too long, but we'll widen out the view here. You can see the jet stream flattening out, becoming a little more west to east, and eventually that will start bringing in milder Pacific air as we head into the early part of next week. But it'll also keep the main storm track to the south of us for a few days, allowing us some dry weather, at least through Tuesday. But on weather track tonight, again, those flurries just kind of coming in from the north and west. There's actually a trough of low pressure that will just continue to head toward the south and east. The cold front that came through yesterday is now down across central Illinois, central Indiana, and even colder air is waiting in the wings behind that trough of low pressure. In fact, as we take a look at current temperatures across the upper Midwest, you can see single digits through much of northern and central Wisconsin, and wind chills right now that are in the single digits and teens below zero to our north and to our west. Madison's wind chill just barely above zero at 2. So for tomorrow, look for a high of only 24 degrees. It'll be windy and cold. We'll see a few flurries in the morning. As we plan your day for tomorrow across Dane County, high temperature 23 Stoughton, 23 in Cottage Grove, 23 in Cross Plains with mostly cloudy skies. Across the rest of southern Wisconsin, windy. 22 in Monroe, 24 in Wautoma, and 24 in Fond du Lac. As we look at our first warn 7 to 10 day forecast, at least the sunshine and southerly or southwesterly winds will bring us back up to 39 on Sunday. We'll be in the upper 40s Monday. Tuesday, probably dry but cloudy, 51 for a high. Some showers Wednesday, windy with showers on Thursday, and the temperatures turn a little colder at the end of the week. Near normal for next weekend, and some rain and snow shower chances from Sunday into Monday of the following week.
Well, it's our top sports story of the night. The Badgers are moving on to the national championship game. We're going to take another full look at their game against Minnesota, and we're also going to hear from the team one more time.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
From installation, repairs, and maintenance to complete sewer and drain cleaning, visit MononaPFP.com.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection, a name you can trust when service is a must.
Good news, this just in. Your Ford dealers have fresh shipments of their award-winning SUV lineup in stock and ready for you to drive home today. Get your hands on a new Ford, the #1 brand in SUV owner loyalty, including Bronco Sport with standard GOAT modes, and Explorer, America's all-time best-selling SUV. And now, here's more good news. Now get a 2022 Explorer with 0% APR financing for 36 months, only at your Wisconsin and UP Ford dealers.
Lake Ridge may be a new name, but it isn't a new bank. It's one built on over a century of community commitment. One equipped with all the knowledge and resources of 145 collective years of experience. Monona Bank and State Bank of Cross Plains are coming together as one. As Lake Ridge Bank, we're doing more together for you.
Remember this? And this, and the false elector scheme. In Wisconsin, extremist Dan Kelly was the right-wing lawyer behind the scenes of it all. The bipartisan January 6th Commission revealed Kelly advised Trump operatives as special counsel to overturn the will of the people and overthrow the election results. Kelly even went on tour promoting the big lie. On April 4th, vote like democracy depends on it, because it does.
Chicago. Celebrating 25 years of Broadway razzle-dazzle. The Associated Press calls Chicago the most entertaining musical of the decade. Paint the town again with Chicago the Musical.
At Overture, March 21st through 26th. Tickets at overture.org.
New in 2023, iCare Medicare plan members receive an allowance of $150 total per month to spend on items like eligible healthy foods, OTC products, home supplies, wellness care, or living support such as rent, utilities, and internet. All unused monthly funds roll over until the end of the year. If you have Medicare and Medicaid, call us and a licensed sales agent will help find out if you're eligible. Rest easy. Eye Care is looking out for you and your health.
From installation, repairs, and maintenance to complete sewer and drain cleaning, visit MononaPFP.com.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection, a name you can trust when service is a must.
After 3 full periods of play and almost an entire overtime session, Wisconsin gets the final say in this season's 6th installment of the border battle. The Badgers have punched their ticket to the championship game for the 4th time since 2017. Now, in case you missed the early part of our show and couldn't watch this epic national semifinal game against Minnesota, here you go. Not even 4 minutes in, Taylor Heisey buries her 30th goal of the season, and the Gophers have an early lead. Well, that's going to hold all the way until midway through the 3rd period, and out of the faceoff, it's Layla Edwards who lights the lamp and ties this game up, but it's not going to last long. 53 seconds later, Sophie Shirley takes the feed and takes it to the top shelf for the go-ahead. Now, we all know at this point, yes, it goes to overtime, but with just 3 minutes left in OT, the WCHA Rookie of the Year plays hero KK Harvey with an absolute rocket for the 3rd and final Badger goal.
No, obviously we're real excited. Great ebbs and flows of overtime. Both teams having great chances, and we got an opportunity, obviously. And KK makes a great shot. I thought conference pass out of the corner was outstanding, and you bury it. But 6 times we've played each other, and most of the games have been like that.
UW is going to face the defending champions Ohio State on Sunday for the title. The Buckeyes punched their ticket earlier today after blanking Northeastern 3-0. That game is set for 3 o'clock at Amsoil Arena. 23 years ago, Fall River boys basketball made its first state appearance. It also happened to be their last. Well, until this season. The Pirates with a chance to bring home their program's first ever gold ball. Now, the only thing standing between them and a spot in the D5 championship game, top-ranked McDonald Central. Now, early first, Colin Vyeth cashes in from behind the arc for 3 of his 21 points on the day. The Pirates opened the game actually on a 7-0 scoring run, and they're just showing how dangerous they are from distance, down low. Matthew Miller able to knock down the floater, but even a double-digit lead, it's not enough to deter McDonald Central. Bulldogs rally back second half. They edge Fall River 66-62. Pirates finish the season 26-4. Marquette opening up tournament play earlier today. Their game with Vermont was airing right here on CBS. Golden Eagles quick to take that lead, and Aso Iguodano is quick to add to it. He stuffs for 2, and Marquette doubles up Vermont. They hold a 9-point lead at halftime. In this second half right here, Marquette really dials it up. Cam Jones drives inside, fakes out the defender for the bucket. He finishes with 19 points, and the Golden Eagles are moving on to the round of 32, where they will face Michigan State. That game is on Sunday. And it's official. Alan Lazard did put pen to paper with the New York Jets. Earlier today, the former Packer said that standing here today, it feels good knowing that 12 is going to be my quarterback again. Aaron Rodgers made his intentions clear this week. He wants to play for the Jets, but no official trade has been made yet. We'll be right back.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Don't need glasses? See us for your contacts and save on your annual supply.
Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2.
He's going to speak now.
The bad news. Most cell companies only give you discounts if you meet their hidden requirements.
I bet he says the good news now.
The good news. US Cellular gives you $830 off any phone when you choose an unlimited evolved plan. No plan restrictions or trade-ins needed.
So nice.
So, friend who always has a broken phone can finally get a new one.
It's just a scratch. It's broken.
No.
Oh. It's busted.
We're good. Oh, no.
Get $830 off any phone with no hidden requirements. US Cellular, built for us.
Fjords has been crafting beautifully designed functional furniture since 1941. Every aspect of Fjords furniture has been carefully engineered to create a higher level of relaxation. Right now at the Century House, purchase any Fjords furniture and receive up to 20% off. All models, all sizes, all colors. Experience the unmatched relaxation you can only achieve in Fjords furniture. Relaxation made beautiful. Visit the Century House at 3420 University Avenue in Madison or online at centuryhouseinc.com.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this, the Brux Night Guard. Now, the Brux Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brux Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to bruxnightguard.com and order yours today.
Extremist Dan Kelly wants abortion banned, even in cases of rape, incest, and the health of the mother. For years, Kelly was on the payroll of a radical anti-abortion group working to take away women's rights. On the court, Kelly will uphold Wisconsin's 1849 criminal abortion ban that strips women of their freedom to make personal decisions on abortion. Dan Kelly, an extremist who doesn't care about us.
This is Ford Truck Month, America. Time to get up and get into Ford F-150, part of F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight. All amped up and ready for work or play. Plus, there's a great selection in stock and ready for delivery today. So get into Ford Truck Month and see what a built Ford Tough truck can do for you. Choose FlexBuy on F-150 and get 0.9% APR financing for 66 months plus 1,000 FlexBuy, 1,000 Ford credit cash, and 500 accessories cash.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Shopko Optical welcomes more insurance plans than ever. Call to book an exam and verify coverage.
State Supreme Court debate, Tuesday at 4 p.m.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Finally tonight, up to 450,000 people turned out at the National St. Patrick's Day Parade in Dublin, Ireland today. The parade with the theme, We Are One, and 4,000 participants highlighted a unifying global culture and reflected values, including community, diversity, and sustainability.
I'll be in Dublin in about 7 weeks.
Ooh,
that's so exciting.
So
that'll be really nice.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It looks like you know, a nice trip. Hopefully it'll warm up before that.
Yes.
It's around here. It's been a very chilly St. Patrick's Day, but right now no flurries in Madison. We could see them later on tonight. High resolution radar, maybe a couple of flurries up toward say Oshkosh and Fond du Lac. 6-hour future track radar shows those flurries kind of dropping southward toward the Dells by about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. But right now temperatures only in the teens and wind chills are right around 0.
All right, thank you. Thank you all for joining us. Do something good and have a great weekend.